Hey! Do you want to pay €0 for hardware and still become a PLC pro? I'm showing you a free PLC rack here that you can use to perfectly train your projects. Forget dry theory and pure simulations. If you want to know how industrial automation really works, then stay tuned. I am a PLC freelancer, and this is my rack, from the Siemens S7-1500 and safety hardware to IFM IO-Link master/slaves and even an industrial 3D camera. I use this setup to pre-test customer projects or to validate complex safety scenarios. This rack is packed with real industrial hardware, and the best part, I am making it available to you for free. All you need is an internet connection. We all use simulation programs, but how do you simulate a real hardware fault there? The best way is with real components and the matching circuit diagram, and I offer both to you here for free. I will simulate a wire break and a short circuit live, and we'll look at how the safety logic reacts to it in practice. Let's lose no time. I'll present my rack to you now, from top to bottom and left to right. Every system should have an optical status indicator. That's why two RGB signal lights are used in this rack to intuitively visualize the current operating state: no color, system in idle mode, green, normal operation/system ready, red, fault present, blue, emergency stop active. For visualization, I have installed a KTP700 basic panel. But what actually happens when things get stuck during operation? We're testing that live now. I'll start the fault simulation and show you how the HMI helps us identify the cause immediately and restart the process safely. Among other things, a safety acknowledgement is implemented on it, which I will go into in more detail in a later video. The third component I have here is my power supply. The diagnostic LEDs are particularly practical, as I can immediately see if the voltage is correctly applied. With this toggle switch here, I turn the system on centrally. This ensures a clear and safe disconnection from the mains. Quick quiz question for you. I have installed two CPUs here, but how can you tell at first glance which one is a Siemens FCPU, fail-safe? Here's the solution. The 1500 series FCPU no longer has a large yellow marking on the housing like they used to. Instead, you can recognize it in three places: at the very top of the CPU edge where F stands for safety, under the flap where PLC is written in large letters, and on the display as soon as the CPU is switched on, as I'm showing here. To achieve CPU to CPU communication in the best possible way, I have additionally installed a compact CPU 1512C with a total of 69 onboard peripherals in my rack. As you can see here, the 1512C is a standard CPU. That's why, unlike the FCPU, you won't find a yellow marking on the display or a PLC specification on the housing. The CPU has 5 analog inputs, 2 analog outputs, and 32 digital inputs and outputs each. For the wiring, I use this included front connector with push-in technology, which I'm showing you right now. I think Siemens solved this very well. The front connector can also be used in other Siemens S7-1500 modules without any problems. This means for you, when replacing a module, you don't have to disconnect the entire wiring. As you can see, there is a lot of detailed work in this rack. Explaining every module in detail would go beyond the scope of this video. But if you are interested in a complete, detailed description or the circuit diagrams, just write me a comment or contact me directly. If there is enough interest, I'll be happy to make a separate video about it. And now, on with the hardware. In my opinion, a realistic setup also includes a door contact. Look here, I use an RFID safety switch from PLC. This is connected to the FCPU via a secure input module. As you can see here, the system immediately shuts down the machine safely as soon as I open the door. I will go into the exact programming and hardware configuration in detail in the next video, I promise. To ensure everything in my rack is perfectly networked, I use the Siemens S7-1500 from Siemens. As you can see, it ensures that my CPUs, the HMI, and the peripherals communicate with each other without delay. To make my rack as close as possible to a real industrial control cabinet, I have installed 2 contactors per phase for the safe shutdown of the motor. For the simulation, I use a 24V DC motor here, representing a large asynchronous motor. With this setup, you have the perfect opportunity to put your program and the RFID safety function to the test. Here you see the heart of my decentralized peripherals, the ET200SP. The setup is packed. I have 5 standard DI modules and 1 DQ module. For safety programs, 2 FDI, 1 FDQ, 1 FPME power module, and even an FRQ relay module are installed. I'll take out the DQ module here so you can see the compact design. The nice thing about the ET200SP is the push-in technology on the base unit. You can simply pull out the module without touching the wiring. In direct comparison, I'll now pull out an FDI module. You'll immediately notice the bright yellow color, the trademark for fail safety. This module monitors my RFID switch, for example. I'll show you in the next video why a small mistake during replacement can be so expensive. A complete safety concept naturally includes a matching control station. My control panel here is its own 3D model and houses everything you need for control. A reset button, stop button, a start button, and a selector switch for different operating modes. The most important element, however, is this emergency stop button. It is wired directly to the FDI module and programmed to immediately put the system into a safe state. Without this hardware interface, no safety program would be complete. Now I'll show you an important safety feature, the two-hand control. For the motor to start, both buttons must be pressed synchronously within the discrepancy time. This prevents a hand from accidentally reaching into the danger zone. Look here. As soon as I press both buttons, the 2 contactors pick up immediately and the 24V DC motor runs. The redundant shutdown ensures maximum safety here. If I now release one of the buttons, the system drops out immediately. The motor stops without delay. This is the monitoring by the FCPU, which checks each channel individually. And as you can see, just pressing one button is not enough. The motor stays off. Only when both signals come absolutely synchronously within the time window does the controller release the process. This logic also ensures a safe shutdown in the event of button chattering or a cross-circuit. Look at how I simulate faults live here. At the push of a button, I create a wire break or short circuit. Here you can see immediately whether your program really reacts safely. To simulate different systems simultaneously without cluttering my whole living room with components, I have integrated 3 separate control stations here. Each control unit shuts down the corresponding system part absolutely safely. At the same time, the LEDs provide immediate visualization of the current status of each section. That was the overview of my hardware. But how do we bring the whole thing to life? In the next video, I will commission this IO-Link master from IFM. A real highlight in my setup is this O3D304 3D sensor. In the next video, I'll show you how to commission this industrial camera. We'll look at how you can use it to measure boxes or determine the exact position for automated warehouse planning. PLC programming doesn't have to be expensive. If you want to learn more about my free rack concept, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed the video. You can find all info and links below in the video description. Take care and see you at the next step.